Unspoken truth. We are at it again. In case if this is your first time watching us, welcome. If you are returning to catch this episode, we want to thank you for returning again. Make sure that you comment, like, subscribe so that you can get more information. You can get more uh okay, I can't think. Okay, I'm gonna scratch that.
I was getting ready to fill it in for you, but okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She
Okay.
said start over at the
Yeah.
minute mark.
And I want to welcome everyone to another episode of The Unspoken Truth, the show where coaches and founders who are done with the highlight reel that we see everywhere are ready for a real conversation. If this is your first time, I want to welcome you. If you have watched previous episodes in the past and you're not new here, I want to welcome you too to another conversation where we always keep it real and tell you the things that we know that you need to know, not necessarily the things like other podcasts will tell you that you need to hear. I am your girl, Jay Black, and I am your revenue strategist and your diagnostic consultant. I am that half of this dynamic duo. My whole thing is to find exactly where in your business you're losing money and then build the infrastructure around it so you can stop it. And this lady, this Mrs. Keena B, she is the CEO development and leadership coach. Her job is to make sure that your internal architecture, that means your mindset, your ability to make decisions as the CEO, the leadership identity that you have inside your business, that you hold that together, get a good grasp of it so you can build, strengthen, grow, and scale your business. That's who she is as a part of this dynamic duo. And together we run uh, the unspoken truth. We have another venture that's in the background, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that in episodes to come. But what we have is one rule that we do not tell you stuff to make you feel comfortable. We tell you the truth. So everything that we bring to you is from almost 40 years of experience dealing with coaches. We bring that to the table and we give you the truth. We give it to you. It's always real. It is unspoken, but it's always going to be the truth. All right.
Hmm.
So how you doing, Keena? How did I do with that intro? Did that work? Does that feel good?
Listen, uh, we also have a saying around here. It's called work in progress. And those of you who are leaders, that should be part of your vocabulary as well, because we're always a work in progress. So to me, every version of that intro sounds great for where we are in this journey. So,
Sounds good. Now today, this conversation is gonna be heavy.
hmm
It's gonna
hmm
be heavy. It's gonna step on a couple of toes, because it stepped on ours as we were talking and preparing for it. And we're going to be addressing why business strategy and coaching shouldn't be addressed separately. Now, I'm going to turn it over to you, Kina. Why do you think, when it comes to business, and we're going to leave the coaching as far as like a skill set and all that other stuff, we're going to put that to the side. But when it comes to building a coaching business or a service based business, why do you think we separate the two? And should it be separated?
so, um, this is a topic in some way, shape, or form that I've, and I'm gonna say, struggle with for as long as I can remember, because a lot of the coaches, consultants, entities that I've worked for in the past, they focus more on the actions. This is the structure. This is the process. This is the funnel that we want you to use because this is the funnel that works.
Mhm.
This is the process that's going to get you your $10,000 months. And so for some of us, hearing that actually give you should be giving you the creeps right now because that is what we have been dealing with for the last, I don't know, 15 years, give or take.
Yeah.
And that's the message, and so the reason that it happens is because it's easier. If you think about human nature, it's easier for us to act, to do things, to um if we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I just gotta follow the instructions that are given to me. It's easier for us to do that. Like I was famous for it. Like, give me a process, I'll do it. Give me a funnel, I'll put it together. Easy. The part that I knew was always missing was the thought, the why behind it all. And once you start asking why am I doing this? Why did you insert a challenge into something that was already working? Why? So when you start asking those why questions, it gets hard. It gets into the mindset. It gets into you having to think about why it's happening, why we're doing this. And so most people that I work with, they shy away from what's happening right here. And it was so obvious to me that that was happening because I'm like, wait a minute. When I would ask why, I would never get an answer. It would be as simple as I have 100 clients that have been able to successfully put this funnel together and have $10,000 months. We don't need to really understand why it's working for them and not for the 10,000 people that it didn't work for. Those 100, great. That's who we're going to focus on. We're not going to focus on the 10,000 that it did not work for. And so over and over again, Jay, you and I have, in some way, shape, or form been around um, different entities, and we've seen that disparity where you may have 100 people. We may be working with 100 people, but only 5 of them are seeing any success. And
Mhm.
and for me, it was like, does anybody see that this is a problem?
Mhm.
95 of the people that's going through the same process, it's not working for.
Mhm.
So so immediately it was like, okay, so it has to be a coaching thing. It has to be something else that we cannot see that is why it's not working for everyone or the majority. Because of course it's not going to work for everyone, but for the majority of the people that we're serving, it's not working because of something else that we can't see. And what that can't see is it's the mindset, it's the coaching, it's understanding that this person isn't really relating to their clients. They're not really listening to them to understand, like, okay, so we need to change this up a little bit.
Mm.
So so yeah, it's just easier to deal with strategy. It's easier to act than mindset and coaching, and vice versa. So like I'm on the other side of that. I will mindset and coach you all day. But there was times where I needed to put pen to paper, voice to microphone, face to video, and because there were some internal things going on, it just wouldn't happen. And
Mhm.
so sometimes it's the other way around, but either way, what we're saying, what Jay and I are saying, is that both of these things have to be attacked at the same time, not separately, because otherwise things just don't work. And if they do work, they don't work consistently.
Mm. I think that is a, a great statement and a great what do I want to say, case for the argument.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think it's something really simple. The reason why they're attacked separately is because if something is broken your business, you want to blame it, not you.
Hmm.
I don't want to accept responsibility for getting my messaging wrong. It's them. It's either my team's problem, it's my audience fault. They don't understand, they don't see, they don't say this out loud. They're not ready. They don't want to invest in themselves. So it's a them problem. It's not a me problem.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have to fix something in my business, something that I see isn't working, it's one thing whenever it's in your life and it's not working. But when it's in your business, because we see it, it's our lives are on display for sometimes for people that we will never meet to see.
Hmm.
Like you'll, if your life blows up and your neighbors may will won't know the ins and outs of what's going on. People that you meet on the street, they don't know who you are. So it's more intimate, more quiet. Whenever it's your business, because you're having to market, because you're having to tell other people that you have your business, other people are able to see what's what's happening. There's proof of it. And then if
Mm-hmm.
you have a team, they really see the inner workings of what's going on. So then it's easy to shift the blame and remove
Hmm.
yourself from it. So I don't have to take accountability for it. You'll see a lot of people will say, I'm a business owner. I'm a business owner. I have my own business. I have my own business. Oh, I have my own business. I have my own business. But to truly understand what that means, that you wouldn't be going around, like, oh, I have a business. I have a bit because it's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there have been moments in my journey as a business owner, I so badly wanted to go back to a 9 to 5 because I didn't want the responsibility. I didn't
Yes.
want to be responsible for making decisions that put food on other people's plates. I didn't want that responsibility anymore. Whenever you have a team, I have to make sure my business is bringing in revenue so that I can keep these people employed. They're counting on me to make a profit so that I can pay them so that they can feed their family.
Hmm.
It gets to a point I don't want that responsibility.
Hmm.
And I don't want the responsibility of just regular business. I just want to go in at 9 o'clock, check out at 5. And whatever happens before 9, after 5 ain't my business.
Hmm.
Want so bad for that. But if you have your own business, you have to take responsibility for what happens in it. And sometimes, like for example, if you have a funnel problem, if you have a messaging problem, you might tweak it. You can go and you can hire a strategist or a consultant or a VA or OBM, and they come in and they tweak it and it gets to running. And then 6 months later, it's broken again. And why does it break again? Is it because of what that person did to that funnel? Mm, it could be, but it also could be you haven't changed. They have funneled people to you and you've dropped the ball because you didn't work on you.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
didn't work you didn't work on the messaging. They worked on the messaging to get them up to a certain point, but you didn't change to align yourself with what was tweaked, what was updated. So now your audience gets before you and you're saying something that's opposite of what attracted them. So you
Hmm.
didn't fix you, but you want to say, well, it's broken. and they didn't do their job, they messed it up, or the audience or whoever else, you want to point it outside and not look at the part that you played in it. So I think that's why it's separated, so that you don't have to be held accountable
Accountable. Yeah.
for what
Yeah.
happens in your business.
Mhm. Mhm.
So how else does this show up in a coaching business or in a coach's journey?
So I have a note here, and the note says, uh, "My coaching requires you to deal with your shortcomings because it does."
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I also, as you were talking, I was like, there are a lot of people out here that are not self-aware, that aren't aware of their shortcomings. And yes, I want to cuss, but I'm not going to. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're not aware of the things that, in corporate world they call weaknesses. You know, us it's your nonsense, because we all have it. We all have things that we struggle with. And when you decide to start a business in some way, shape, or form, those shortcomings become part of your stage. They're on the stage with you. And
Mm-hmm.
so if I don't want to deal with it, and to Jay's point, I would rather play the blame game, versus, which is what happens. I don't want to deal with it. I mean, shoot, most of us, you and I, Jay, have dealt with women and men that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s. So think about that. If in real life I don't want to deal with my stuff, what you think is going to happen in your business? And now I got pawns to use to, so that I can explain to other people, like, oh, it didn't happen because my whatever title of team member that you have. It didn't happen because the marketing team messed up the font, messed up the ad, or my admin didn't, or triple booked me, or it's like all these things. And you'll hear, if you haven't heard in last episodes, that is the very reason why Jay, one of the reasons why Jay is like, I don't do coaching. Because if you cannot take responsibility for your business, the decisions that are being made in your business, and it's easier for you to blame other people, like, that's literally where I come in. Because I'm gonna tell you, like, oh, you realize you don't want to put $100,000 in this business. You realize that you are the common thread as to why you've had 100 VAs over the last 2 years. It's you. What aspect of you we can figure out, but it's a you thing. And I don't say those things to shame anybody, but it's like we have to learn how to deal with what is. And what is that I don't like dealing with people. Like, you got to get to that point where you're like, I'm a coach, people be peopling too much. And I would rather have clients that do what I say, that listen to my instruction, and little by little or lot by lot, they are following what the guidance that I'm giving them. If I start to get pushback, this is how I respond. And that could be whatever that is for you. But you have to get to the level of saying, this is me. I'm aware of how I respond to certain situations and certain people. And with that, I need to tell my team. I need to tell Jay, like, Jay, listen, you're going to have to hold me accountable, on this, because I can tell you right now, you're about to give me a plan, and I'm going to tell you that I did that already. I tried that already, and it didn't work. And Jay's going to come back and say, you might have tried whatever you tried before, but where's the data from that try? Because we need to include that in this.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the follow up? Matter of fact, you just told me you only let it happen for a week. That's not enough time. So you can't compare what happened 2 years ago for 1 week and what I am wanting you to do for the next 3 months. Two different things.
Mm-hmm.
So so again, you have to learn how to deal with your stuff. If not, you gotta have a lot of, or some people around you, which costs money, that's willing to. And I've worked with people. I think you and I have worked with people that have that are willing to throw money at stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're willing to hire people to fill the gap that they know they have. But guess what? They know they have it. They're aware of the fact that they have it. And so that team member is now the buffer for them to not double book themselves. That team is the buffer for them not signing 10 contracts when you can't deliver on said 10 contracts. That team member becomes that buffer, because otherwise you would say yes to everything. So you have to have a high level of awareness of yourself in order to really be in this game. And I'm not saying you got to be perfect, but you got to be aware of your stuff.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I think, to your point, you cannot separate the CEO from the business.
At all.
The business is an extension of how the CEO thinks, what they decide, what they avoid, what they execute, how they feel, all of that, how they see themselves. It's all an extension of you. And as a strategist, it doesn't matter what I address solely. If you don't deal with you, this can only take you so far. For example, like if we do an audit, if you just come to me and not with Keena and I together, and you, like to Keena's point, you are not self aware. When I do an audit, I can tell you in the first 30 minutes whether this is a structural problem, meaning the funnel is broken, the messaging is off, the audience, there's no alignment there. I could tell you that, or I can tell you that you the funnel is okay, but it's an operation or a behavioral issue, meaning the person that's operating the funnel is not doing it properly, like you're abandoning it. You're not uh connecting things properly. You're not showing up. You're relying solely on this thing that's automated to do all the work for you because you just want to show up and coach. You just want to do this. You don't want to be a business owner. You don't want to make the hard decision. You don't want to be the I just want to be a coach. So I'm going to make sure everything is automated, especially with AI. Make AI generate all my content, make it do all these things, make it so easy. So whenever I get a client, I can just be like, hey, let's do this session. I am coach such and such and so. And and then after your coaching session, you can hit leave Zoom and then you out and you don't have to worry about your business ever again. That disconnect, your business, your clients may be okay, but your business is going to tell you, hey, we don't operate like that. You're disconnected from me, and there's going to be a problem. I've given clients a perfect 90-day blueprint. I've given them a perfect strategy That's beautiful. And told them, if you implement this, I'm going to walk you through step by step by step by step by step. I'm going to give you action plans. I'm going to give you videos. I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to talk you through. I'm going to click this button, click that button so you can see what to do, how to do it. I'm going to train your team. Everything is straight. It's good to go. And they do nothing with it. And they do nothing with it. And the problem isn't the plan, it's not the blueprint, it's not the strategy, is that something within them wasn't ready to execute it. So you know what that tells me? It has nothing to do with the strategy. It has nothing to do with the team. It has nothing to do with the platforms. It has nothing to do with the audience. It has nothing to do with the messaging. It has nothing to do with the marketing. It has everything to do with the CEO. You were not ready for what was to come. Whether it was it was fear to fail, or it was fear to succeed.
Yep.
And
Or another fear.
that has not, I can't fix that. I can't help you with that. Keena can help you with that, but I can't help you with that. If I've given you all the one, two, three, four, fives, and your problem is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, we mine is the one, two, three, four, fives,
Yes.
not
Yep.
the A, B, C, D, E, F, Gs. You see what I'm saying? So if you want your business to work in synergy, then you can't just have this working. You can't just, okay, let's fix this and this is going to stay just like it is. They have to work together in order to create a business that's ready to scale, that's ready to handle the influx of clients. If you want to sit up there and make, I was watching, and I'll be quiet and we can move on. I like Real Housewives.
Mhm.
I do. Guilty
Mhm.
pleasure.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was watching Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Ooh.
And they have the owner of the Slutty Vegan on there. Her name Pinky somebody.
Mhm.
And she started her restaurant and just soared, built quickly. And she's just going and going and going. And so now she's having to bankrupt because she wasn't ready for the success of her business. So now she has to do bankruptcy, kind of like have that progress that she has, that success, and kind of smush it all the way back down and start and she had to rework her business, who she has in place, who she's going to consult with, how to, and then build again.
Mhm.
So people get confused whenever we talk about build, strengthen, grow, scale. They want to say, oh, well, whenever you get this amount of clients, whenever you make this amount of money, whenever you do this, then that means no, not necessarily. What good is it if you're making $1 million and you still got broke mindset?
And that's where I was going. That's exactly where I was going. So you, if you don't and haven't read the story of the slutty vegan, I definitely it's a story of someone who rose, and I hesitate to say too quickly, but somewhat too quickly, because again she wasn't ready. But that's where I was going. You see, we all have seen people who have made millions of dollars, and a couple years later they're filing bankruptcy. Why? Us that's trying to get there is like, how did it happen? How, how, You had the money. How, what did you, their mindset was still on 30,000, 40,000, $50,000 making that type of money. It was not 10 million mindset. And so, because there's, Meek has said, is it Meek? There's levels. There's like, there are definitely levels. And with every level that we reach, there's a different mindset that you have to have. There are people that you are going to release because you can't take them with you, because why?
Mhm.
Alec, who's that? Allen Iverson. You can't take everybody with you because they will bankrupt you. And so,
Oh, that's a
with
good example. Oh, that's a good example. Not every friend is like LeBron's five, or
exactly,
not every.
exactly,
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
exactly. LeBron. Again, I'm a sports fan. Jay, what we both do sports.
mhm,
LeBron is the example of how to create a circle that's going to continuously help you rise.
mhm,
And he actually has a podcast that he's doing right now with Steve Nash. He talks about self-doubt. So you think about that. This man's a billionaire and he's talking about self-doubt. So why would you think 50,000, 75,000, $100,000 air that you don't have to work on your mindset? Like, make it make sense. It don't make sense. So what we're telling you is, this is like you having an engine, the engine being J, the strategy, and not having oil, me.
mhm.
This is like having spaghetti with no sauce. You got the spaghetti, but you need the sauce. You need the sauce in order for it to become a meal. You need oil in order for your engine to actually run. So here's the thing about an engine. It may run initially, but after a while, without enough oil, it's going to lock up. And I can guarantee that a lot of you have had strategies. You probably paid for them all over fist, and your business locked up because you had no oil. You were not working on the internal part of growing a business, because it's just as important as making sure you have the right funnel.
Yep, I agree, and I want to address something that we also see. It's the start and stop pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Most coaches, they start because things start to get exciting. The creating of the program is exciting. Getting the strategy, knowing that you're going to have all these working pieces. You're going to have the email that's popping. You're going to have the ads that's going. You're going to have a this that's happening, that's happening. And it all gets exciting. And then they stop because then things start to get real. It starts to get hard, and there's nothing in them that's prepared for that part, or they do prepare uh, for it, but they don't reserve a space, an emotional capacity
Mm-hmm.
to deal with everything. Because when I say it gets hard, y'all know it gets hard.
Yes,
And
yes.
you have drained yourself because you've used that space for the excitement, for the fun. And then when stuff hits the fan, you don't have any more room for those emotions, for the self-doubt, for the questions, for the frustration, for whenever stuff just be happening. Like I have a client, we were running, I came up with a strategy. We're going to run ads. We tested ads this way for this offer. We tested ads for this offer. And now we were going to move it together so that it can funnel into a higher tiered product. And this is an illustration of how stuff happens. everything ready to go, push play, push start for the ads, push publish for the ads. The ads for this offer worked fine. This one, we've been working on it for 2 weeks with Facebook ads to get it working.
Hmm.
So what does that mean for the overall strategy? Remember, this was supposed to be a duo working for the higher offer, tiered offer. It was going to be a 1-2 punch. It was going to be a this, and we had set it up so that it could be a cycle, and then this ad runs as a as a cross selling for this, and this is retargeting, and but we had this whole construction, and half of it doesn't work.
Hmm.
She's freaking out because this now she was just over the moon excited about what this strategy was going to present, but now that half of it is not working, out of the control of myself, her team, her she's struggling to deal that
Hmm.
this part is going to set her back 2.5 weeks. You didn't give
Hmm.
yourself the capacity to deal with the fact that things go wrong. So, whenever it's called upon you to be the leader, you're checked out because it's just, I'm overwhelmed. It's too much. It's one more thing. Oh my goodness. What does this mean? Oh, so do we have to delay this for another month? Oh,
Mhm.
I need to. I need to go away for the weekend. Wait a minute. Excuse me? So you have to plug into your coach who understands the inner workings of your business, who understands what everyone is doing, who understands the strategy that's in play, that's going to help facilitate that mindset, that emotional capacity that you'll need in order to deal with the launch and all the junk that comes within a launch at any time. You need a coach that gets that. And no tea, no shade. I said we're gonna keep it a buck. A lot of coaches coach and they don't know what's going on in your business. They know what you
Hmm.
tell them.
Hmm. Hmm.
You tell them, okay, so I'm going to launch ABC 123 for $47, and that's going to be the lead in for my $2,450 coaching program. And I just don't understand why these things keep happening. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, if you're not sharing the inner workings of that strategy, why who came up with that strategy? Why did they come up with that strategy? Did you tell them that that's what you wanted? Do you have a strategist? Did Who were you listening to? Uh, they're coaching you just from the information that you're giving them. They don't know the inner workings of your business. They don't know what you've tried. They don't know the results of that. They're not looking at the data of that. And that's what's great about Kina and I, is because Kina understands the strategy. She knows why that uh, pricing structure is in place. She knows why whenever Jay said that doesn't make any sense, you pushed back and said, "No, that's really what I want. That's really what I want them to go from $47 to $2,400. I really do want that to happen." You know, Keena knows what it's like to be on the team.
Mhm.
The ones who have sat there until they're blue in the face talking to you and they're on oxygen supply, sitting up there trying to tell you that you need to not do that. She knows what that's like. So whenever she comes to you and says, you're really shooting yourself in the foot in so many ways.
Hmm.
And let's start here and work our way out.
Please.
She gets it. She
Yes.
gets it.
Yes.
And I, on the other end, knows when, okay, see, I need to tap out. You need to go talk to Keena because, girl, I don't know
Some.
what to tell you. You're wanting to make $40,000 in a month with that pricing structure, and you only have one ideal client avatar.
Mm, mm, mm.
And you don't want to be on camera, and you don't want to do this type of marketing, and you hate it when, and you just can't stand, and you saw coach over here. I can't.
Mhm.
Keena
Mhm.
work on her.
Yes.
So
Bec-
that's the beauty in this dynamic duo. So I'm going to be quiet, Keena.
no,
I said I
no,
was
no,
going to say one thing, and I ended up saying 50. But go ahead.
first of all, that's not a J nature. So get out of here with that. Again, we just get finished talking about being self aware. We we just got finished talking about self aware. So I don't
Oh
expect you
my
to be
goodness.
quiet at all. Just today, I had a woman call me the voice of reason, and I was like, I will take that. Because basically I I am in the middle of two different groups of people. So you have, and I'm just going to say it, you have chefs on one side, and on the other side you have, let's, for lack of better words, the admin team. Okay. And this is what happens in coaching businesses. So you have two sides that are looking to attack the same thing. The problem, I mean, and I don't think it's a problem, but the issue is you have chefs, and I'm just going to be real about it. So, love you, all the chefs, but y'all have egos. Egos the size of Montana. And when you have someone who, or someones that have egos and want things a certain way, and rightfully so, they are cooking food, they are doing a service for us, and you have on the other side, the people who are making sure the numbers are right, making sure we're staying in the black, making sure that, these different things are happening, the message is often skewed. Communication, what she said, is often misunderstood by him, and now there's conflict. So I've become the voice of reason. It's necessary because, to Jay's point, I've been behind the scenes. I've been on enough teams to understand, oh, she doesn't know how to delegate. How do I know that? Because you just voluntold me to do something. You
Not
said
voluntold. Not voluntold.
you don't you didn't schedule me for something, said I would do something, um, put another thing on my plate without even having a conversation with me. How is that possible? That's a dictatorship. That's a something, but it's not working with your team.
Mhm.
And conversely, it's you start doing work, admin, on a project, and you're not clear. And I'm like, did anybody ask for clarity? I mean, because last time I checked, we can talk. I can ask questions, right? No, I didn't ask. Well, how's it their fault? You went with what was put in front of you. So, in the example of Jay giving you a strategy, if you don't understand what she's asking, ask for clarification. It's really that simple. So a lot of times what I have found is the lack of communication, the lack of understanding, the inability to actively listen to the person that's in front of you so that you understand what is going on. Jay, you said something skirt back a little bit, and we've heard this, like, and this is probably a whole episode because I think we got about 10 minutes. I just want to coach.
That's a series.
Here's the thing. So do I. I just want to coach people too. But if we're talking about a business, back it up. Coaching, showing up to just coach means that you have all the things leading up to that coaching session nailed. You have all the things that happen during the coaching session nailed. You have the things that happen after a coaching session nailed. What does all of that mean? So, the funnel that Jay is talking about that ultimately gets you said clients, that's working perfectly or close to perfect. That's what that means. That means that once you pick up a mic, and I'm pretending this is the strategy. The strategy is I got to pick up a mic, I got to record a video. Once I record a video, my call to action is this. That call to action is equaling 40% people signing up for them to get on a call with me. Once they get on the call, I am now ready to sell them into the package. Like, the package is sold. I show up for a coaching session. That coaching session, I'm laying out like, this is what I'm doing. Bam, bam, bam. This is their takeaway. This is their homework. This is my responsibility. All of that is nailed. Raise your hand if you have all that stuff nailed. You probably, if you're honest, you probably can't say I have all that stuff nailed. So to just, it's a goal, it's a dream to just want to show up and coach. You tell your team, that's what I'm working towards, to just showing up to coach. But the number of coaches that I have worked with over the years that expect that to happen, and and I'm just going to call it, in less than a year, it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic because then the main reason is because you haven't had enough seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are seasons of business. You haven't had enough seasons of business to be able to say, okay, the funnel works whether it's January or November. The funnel works whether uh, things are happening politically or things are not happening politically. You haven't had enough seasons. And so I can think of I can think of the young woman that said, I did my first launch and my launch was a success. And I was like, was it though? She was like, yes, I got 3 clients from it. And I was like, that is great because you went from 0 to 3. You know what Jay's and I question was? Do it again. Do it again.
Do it again.
So I need you to do that again and get 3 clients. Matter of fact, it would be even better if you were able to learn from the first time and you got 6 clients.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do it again. You can't repeat it. So this goes back to, you have some work to do in order to get to the point where you just coach. Okay? Love you. Thank you. Bye bye.
And if I can add, we talk about the build, strengthen, grow scale. By the time you're able to just show up and coach, you're at the scale.
Mm-hmm.
If that's any inclination of, okay, I have to go through these, to Keena's point, seasons, that should let you know. Second thing is, if you're like, okay, I don't know what season I'm in, stay tuned. We will, in the description or wherever you are watching or listening, we'll put a link for a quiz for you to take to help you identify what stage you're in. But also, not only being self aware, doing the work on yourself, being prepared, going through the seasons, it's going to take money. Money for you to be able to just uh, show up and coach, because you
Mm-hmm.
have to have a team around you, because somebody got to do the work. I don't care how much you automate. I don't care how many AI agents you get. Somebody got to be there to turn on the lights, make sure that the lights are still working, make sure the outlets still work, make sure stuff gets, somebody got to get up and make the biscuits. Somebody has to do it. And I don't care how many machines in your factory, somebody has to be up to make sure the biscuits get made. Oh, goodness, that sounds so southern, but it's the truth.
It's the truth, and now you want me wanting a biscuit. And what I'm and to that point, Jay, AI can't feel. You, if we're talking about coaching,
Mhm.
AI is built for the action, for the tactical, for the things that have to happen in order for you to run a business. That's AI. But AI can't help you see that, oh my gosh, this client of mine is running away from getting in front of the camera. And oh, I didn't give the disclaimer at the beginning, but let me just say this right now. I am not a therapist. I'll refer you to them, but I am not a therapist. So back to what I was saying.
Tina, I know you can't see it, but I put my disclaimer down there. Tina is not a therapist. All her thoughts and opinions are based on real experiences. I
Thank
put
you,
the
Jay.
disclaimer down there.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But the point is the message that we, if you have not understood what we've been saying for the last 40 something minutes, is you have to work on your internal self as strongly as you're working on figuring out what the best platform is for your business.
Mhm.
Because if you call yourself a coach, which it took me a long time, I think I shared it in an episode, but it took me a long time to get to that point because I felt like I had not did enough work to be worthy of such a title. Because for me, when you talk about you're coaching someone to their next level of evolution, to their next level, to their goal, to the dreams they say they want. You're coaching them. That's a responsibility that I take very seriously. And so if you're going to call yourself a coach, you have to be super tapped to your emotions, to emotions, period, so that you can see that your client is running away from the things that Jay is telling them because they're afraid, because they're uncertain as to how am I going to deliver this over and over and over again. And that's a real conversation. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm starting this program. This program is telling me I'm gonna have 3 cohorts a year. Uh, Wait a minute, am I gonna be able to deliver?
Mhm.
That's the stuff that causes people to pause, stop, not keep going. Take that 90-day strategy that Jay gave and let it sit there and collect dust. It's because they start to realize, wait, so if what Jay is telling me is true, then that means I'm going to have 10 clients in 90 days or whatever. And then in another 90 days, I'm going to have 10 more clients, maybe 20. Oh my gosh, I'm not ready for this.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm just not going to do it. And no, you don't say all this stuff out loud, but you're saying it up here and your actions are definitely speaking super loud.
Yes. Yes. And
So,
and that type of, that matter of being stuck, that matter of being ill prepared for success,
mm-hmm,
that will become evident not only to yourself, to your team, but to your audience, to your members, to your clients. They will see in certain ways that they have, and they'll actually put it on themselves. Again, I messed up in investing in me. And I know the last thing as a coach you want to do is to make your clients feel that your, and I don't want to say failure, your lack of having a grasp on your business is their fault.
Mhm.
I know you
Mhm.
don't want them to feel that way. And we're not
Mhm.
saying this to make you feel bad. We're not saying it to, like shame you into anything. It's to bring awareness to you. It's to hold the mirror up to you. And if you don't like what you see, if we're stepping on your feet, if the nails, fingernails are on the chalkboard, if we're hitting nails on the head, then it's time for you to act.
Mhm.
You don't have to live how you live in. You don't
Mhm.
have to, your business, yes, although it's challenging, it is very rewarding, not just in clients, but in how it enhances your life and your experience as a business owner, as a coach, as a human being.
Mhm.
It can be rewarding. So I will say this, if you're listening to this and you know you have both sides of this problem, you have strategy gaps and execution blocks, and you need to work on your mindset, your mental capacity, your emotional capacity, in order to show up better as a leader, as a coach, as a business owner, then the revenue clarity session is exactly for you. It's a 90-minute session with Kina and I where we work together to diagnose exactly what's happening in your business, and we leave you with a prioritized action plan of how to work on both sides of the issue. It's no fluff, it's not templated, it's no uh box cookie cutter type thing. It's not a cake mix where we just add water and oil and whip it together and poof it and it's done. It's tailored to you. So there may be a little bit of homework because you're gonna have to work on you and you're gonna have to get stuff done, but it moves you on to the next. So if you are interested in that, if this works for you, then go ahead and click this link here, the unspoken truth podcast.com /forward/iconic chat. Again, that's the unspoken truth podcast.com /iconic chat, and schedule your clarity session with us. And if you want to, we'll definitely make sure that we put this link in the description below.
Mhm.
Kina, did you have anything you wanted to say before we close out?
No, other than work on being more aware of the ebbs and flows of you. Your self awareness matters in this journey as you build your business. So take heed to that and do something about it.
Beautiful. I couldn't have said it better because I was going to say, if this conversation hits you, if it hits close to home, don't just sit with it, take action. But you've made the first step because you could have been doing anything in the world and you chose to spend this time with us, and we're forever thankful and grateful. And until next time in the next episode, y'all, bye.